Imagine walking through an abandoned mansion, its grandeur shrouded in darkness, where the only light comes from the full moon casting an eerie glow, casting long, ominous shadows across the walls, shadows that seem to move of their own accord. You can feel the weight of history here, the whispers of the past, but do you hear the whispers of the damned? Picture a small town, idyllic on the surface, but beneath the facade lies a dark legacy, a legacy of terror and possession, a legacy that's been passed down through generations, and one that's been fueled by the most heinous crimes imaginable, crimes that have left the townsfolk with an unshakable sense of dread, a sense that something is watching them from the shadows, something that's waiting to strike. The people of this town have reported an influx of paranormal activity, ghostly apparitions, disembodied voices, and a sense of being watched, constantly being watched, and yet, no one can explain what's happening, or who's behind the sinister forces at work. It's as if they're being pulled into a war that's been raging for centuries, a war between the living and the dead, the war for the very soul of this haunted town. Venture into the heart of a dark forest, a place where the trees seem to twist and writhe in agony, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out to snare the unwary, and the creatures that lurk within, creatures that seem to feast on fear, creatures that whisper terrorizing tales in the ears of the townsfolk, tales that have driven them to the brink of madness, and yet, no one dares to venture in alone. The townsfolk are convinced that their heritage is cursed, that the land itself is a breeding ground for malevolent spirits, and that the myths they've been told as children are not just mere fantasies, but warnings of the dreadful dangers that lurk in the shadows, dangers that will consume them all if they don't find a way to break the curse, to exorcise the demons that haunt them, but will they be able to overcome their own deepest fears? As we delve deeper into the heart of this haunted town, we begin to uncover bone-chilling secrets, terrifying traditions that have been passed down through generations, and frightening facts that will leave you sleeping with the lights on, the lights that seem to flicker in time with the beating of your heart, and the whispers that seem to grow louder with every step you take, whispers that are warning you of the horrors that await. This town is a living embodiment of macabre mythology, a place where the very fabric of reality seems to be torn apart, and the horrors that lurk within are waiting to drag you down into the depths of madness. But what lies at the heart of this haunted place? A dark force that's driving the townsfolk to the brink of destruction, or a more sinister force that's manipulating them all along? The truth is far more terrifying than you can ever imagine. Welcome to the most haunted place on earth, a place where the very walls seem to bleed terror, and the creatures that lurk within, creatures that seem to feed on the fear of the living, creatures that will stop at nothing to claim their next victim, and yet, you feel an overwhelming sense of dread, a sense that you're being drawn into a world of unmitigated horror, a world that's been waiting for you all along. As we conclude our journey into the heart of this haunted town, we're left with a sense of unease, a sense that we've only scratched the surface of the terrifying tales that lie within, the bone-chilling secrets that are waiting to be uncovered, and the haunting horrors that will consume us all if we don't find a way to escape. The truth is, this town is a harbinger of doom, and we're all just pawns in a much larger game, a game of survival, a game of life and death.